be now live, as far as I'm
Oh, yeah,
aware.
there you go. Yep. There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
We good? We goody? We goody? We
We're good.
goody?
We're good. We're live and direct.
Live and direct, straight on the mic. Okay, cool. So let me just come off my phone and switch it to the laptop. Okay. And then Ninja, being your co-host, can you pull up the disclaimer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Could I get co-host
All right.
as well? Is it cool?
Yep, I'm on it.
All right, what's good, people? It's your boy Fadlan, aka Ninja, co-founder of Blockchain Sensei, along with our CEO Michael Harding and technical director Keish. Welcome to another amazing episode of The Game. It is currently 10 minutes past 8 p.m. UK time, Monday, the 17th of April 2023. Every single Monday, 8 p.m. to 9:30 UK time since 2020. We've been running a free weekly stocks, crypto, artificial intelligence, blockchain, you name it, webinar called The Game, which is free on Zoom and replays are on YouTube, etc. Just before we start the webinar, quick disclaimer, not webinar. Sorry, I've just broken my fast. Scat thoughts. Disclaimer, terms and conditions. All content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, hold any assets. Pardon me. Nor place any trades. Pardon me again. Please always do your own what, guys?
Research.
You gotta do your own research.
Research. Our content is intended and should only be used for informational use only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investments, which should be based on your own individual circumstances. Please always pay your bills. Please always pay your debts before you ever make any investments. You should always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor. Everyone in this room, is anyone a professional advisor?
No.
Charles, Toby, Mick, Sensei?
No.
Sir. Okay, or independently research and verify all and any information you may find. No professional advisors or that you wish to rely upon, whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise. All investments come with what, guys?
Risks.
Risk.
Yes, sir. So please always do your own research. Neither myself, Keish, Michael, anybody currently on the Blockchain Sensei team are financial advisors, and we do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. However, we are working in collaboration with several accredited advisors. If you're unable to mitigate your risk, let us know, and we'll put you in contact with an accredited financial advisor.
And
without further ado,
let me just add to that financial advisor bar. So one of our financial advisors is Victoria Navarro. Our newest financial advisor that we've just partnered up with is none other than Charlie Lucco, who is actually the financial advisor for Dean Forbes, who I don't know if you know, recently sold two businesses for $1 billion and then a third business for $1 billion. So we are working with the best financial advisors in the game. So that's why we're here to spit the game. So Ninja.
But just to iterate, just because we're partnered with a financial advisor doesn't mean that we know what we're talking about. As many financial advisors we collaborate with, we're still just guys on the internet that are unaccredited and not professional traders or investors.
Yeah, we haven't got a clue what we're talking about. We're just out here just chatting. So what we need to do is I want to, because you know the most about Andreessen, because you've dived in on them plenty of times before. Do you want to just show people who the hell Andreessen Horowitz are and why they're important? Or
it's me.
Yeah. Whilst you're pulling up the website, what the Andreessen website, I've got the report, so I'll go through that. But
if you need to make me co-host, I somehow that got taken off me in the middle of the disclaimer.
Got it back now.
Got it back. So, Andreessen Horowitz, aka A16z. I guess you could say they are the VCs of VCs. So what is a VC for all the newbies out here? A VC is a venture capital company. A venture capital company is a company which specializes in investing in companies for equity. So think Dragon's Den, but instead of Dragon's Den, they're, a lot of you guys will be familiar with the show. They're what's called angel investors. Venture capital companies are entire organizations rather than individuals that invest in companies for equity. So Andreessen Horowitz or A16Z are some of the biggest players in the game. In fact, you will find a lot of especially crypto companies, Web3 companies, they are not only invested in by Andreessen Horowitz, but the investment round is led by Andreessen Horowitz. So one example at the top of my head is A16Z Royale.
Have we got a troll in here?
I'm not too sure.
Either that or someone's just enjoyed their lunch.
Let's just mute all. There we go.
So, for example, there is a curated media.
Wait. There you go. You have been unmuted.
No worries. For example, for example, there is a music NFT platform called Royale, owned by a Web3 music entrepreneur called Blau, spelled 3Lau. They raised $55 million, and this round was led by Andreessen Horowitz, aka A16Z. This is one of many investment rounds that are not only invested in by Andreessen Horowitz, aka A16Z, but led by. So that's what we mean by A16Z are pretty much the VCs of VCs.
Do you want to show them some of the Web2 companies in their portfolio?
Oh yeah, why not? Why not? Let's have a look at their portfolio. The Matrix is attacking me right now. A bit green, so I'll turn off my camera. Yeah, so Andreessen Horowitz portfolio included but not limited to Airbnb, Pinterest. They were in that. In fact, they were in the IPO of these companies, and IPO stands for initial price offering. And this is basically where you get in a stock before it's publicly in the stock market. Similarly, in crypto, it's called an ICO. So yeah, they got in the Coinbase IPO, Pinterest, Facebook, Airbnb. What are some very, very significant companies?
There.
Oh yeah, Roblox.
There. Yeah, so these guys know what they're doing. So, right, cool.
Artifacts acquired by Nike. But yeah, you go ahead, my bro.
Cool. So let's get into the sources. So I've annotated this report. So anyone that wants the annotated report, all you got to do is go and comment on today's Instagram post where it's got this flyer, and just put hashtag report, and I'll send it over to you. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, obviously, just going to go through the key bits and bobs in this report. So the number one thing is that new builders are entering Web3 at a record pace. Now, they've got the stats to back this up, and obviously, being as they're one of the biggest VC companies in the world, they've probably got some of the best research teams in the world, probably better than myself, than Keish, probably better than everyone on this call put together is their research team, because they're doing it as a full-time analyst job. So they're saying that new builders are entering at a record pace, and academic research is accelerating, and ambitious products are now launching all the time, which is true. We're seeing new projects launching all the time, seeing new companies launch new products all the time, whether it's Nike, whether it's your Starbucks, whoever. Now, Ethereum's successful transition to energy-saving proof of stake is one of the most significant upgrades in the history of the open source software development. Now, they say it's a significant upgrade. Yes, it is for Ethereum, but there's other people that have done that transition and have done way bigger transitions than them, mainly Tezos. But Tezos never gets the credit that they deserve for the amount of things that they've done, and nor does Cardano. So look into those two. So our view, Web3 is more than a financial movement. It's an evolution of the internet. Blockchains are more than ledgers, they are computers, and crypto isn't just a new financial system, it's a new computing platform. Now, I totally agree with that. Crypto and blockchain are not the same thing. A lot of people think that they are, but they're two completely separate things, completely separate animals. And I think it's very key that people understand that they're not the same thing, and that crypto isn't just about money. It's technically a new way. There's a project that's taken the name Internet Computer, but that is literally what blockchain technology can allow. It can allow it to be a supercomputer for everybody to use, where all the processing is done by a distributed network. Now, I always come up with my crazy theories and crazy things that tend to come true. One that I'm going to put out there is that it's very, very likely that Elon Musk, now that he's created his new AI company called X, and he's got Twitter, which is also called X, and you have to pay for these things, it's probably likely that he's going to launch a token called X, and this token is probably going to be using Starlink, which is his distributed internet satellite system, because that would make a great blockchain and would incentivize people to use it. And then if he found a way of integrating that in with Tesla, even more great use case. So I'm putting it out there that he's going to do that. I've tweeted that he's going to do it. So let's see what happens with that. So Web3 is becoming the next evolution of the internet, combining the best features of the early eras. Those of you that don't know what the difference between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 is, Web 1 was just a basic website where you could only read on it. Web 2 is websites where you could post and edit and play games, as we do now. And then Web 3 is now where people actually own parts of the website. Now, the key stat here, which I thought was crazy, is when you compare the take rates of how much you get charged on some of these blockchains, even though we think it's crazy amounts, or for some of these Web3 products, in comparison to Web 2 products. Facebook, obviously, they own 100% of everything, but Fiverr, 28%, Steam, 30%, YouTube, 45%. And they've even got a crazy fact in here about YouTube that nobody has ever addressed, ever. And I can't wait to get to that fact, because it's a big elephant in the room that no one's ever spoke about. So Web3 counterbalances the trend towards internet consolidation. This is definitely what we're seeing now that Apple has just announced that they are a bank, which I said was coming. I said it was coming a long time ago. It was inevitable. They have more cash than most banks, Apple. So they're valued at what, 2 trillion they're valued at. They're worth more than most countries. So yeah.
Mind you, unlike most banks, their cash is cash, not leveraged cash.
Yeah.
It's not debt cash, it's cash.
Yeah. So people are worried about the geopolitics of countries. It's not countries that you need to worry about. It's companies. Companies lobby governments. Perfect example is everybody now all over the world. There is a new regulation and a new rule coming in for everyone's going to have USB-C type chargers. Guess who has changed all their devices to USB-C? Oh yeah, Apple. Who would have had enough money to lobby governments to push forward an initiative for USB Type-C chargers? Oh yeah, Apple. So that's kind of the way that the world works, but people don't realize it. They think it's governments, but it's in the UK. The UK government doesn't make any decisions. It's all lobbying. So go and look into lobbying. Anyway, free companies now generate a third of all global web traffic, which I thought was crazy. That's just between Google, Facebook, and Twitter, which is insane. So Google is the significant one because that actually includes YouTube. And a lot of people forget that YouTube is owned by Google. So 5 companies represent 50% of the Nasdaq's total of the Nasdaq market cap. That is insane. Like, it was something like 30% during lockdown, and I was saying that, like, the S&P 500, the reason I don't dollar cost average into the S&P 500 is because I don't believe in it, because I think it's overvalued. I think people think that all 500 companies in it are great, but they're not, because the majority of the market cap of it and what's carrying it and making it move is these top 5 companies, the FANG, which is Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Well, Netflix isn't in this one, but Microsoft and Apple. But those top 5 companies represent 50% of the entire market cap of the NASDAQ, which is the top 100 tech companies in America, which is crazy. So talk about monopolies. So Web3 advances the internet through crypto computers, not crypto casinos. And I think this is the common mistake a lot of people getting into crypto make the first time they're getting into it, is they think it's a casino and they just get into it and just go, oh yeah, my mates put some money on this, I'm going to put some money on it as well. Not knowing that they can just literally go on YouTube, type in the name of the crypto that their friends told them about, and it will give you information about the project. And in that way, you actually know, does this make sense? Is it viable? Is this worth investing in? I think people became very, very lazy when it came to crypto. And they just kind of were just hoping for things. And when you hope for things in the crypto space, most of the time you lose all your money. So that's why we encourage people doing their own research. And it's not hard to do. If you've got ChatGPT, just type in the name of the crypto on ChatGPT, see what it says. Like it's not hard to research these days. So what you are looking for is innovation, code enforced rules, transparent operations, and is it resilient? So market cycles. So this is quite interesting that they highlighted this because again, this is something that I believe is happening in tech in general, not just in crypto, is that once tech has a boom, like loads of money comes into it and it's really, really valuable. That then generates loads of interest of loads of people wanting to either use the tech, buy the tech, invest in the tech. That allows for new ideas to happen, and that allows for new projects to come around, which then it creates a new set of hype, and then it goes around and around and around and around again in an inevitable, never-ending circle. So even though there's not lots of money in crypto, so to say, as there was before, during the market highs, as we saw, that previous high got more people interested than ever. So there's more people starting crypto projects than ever. It's just that they don't have crazy high valuations yet. So that's that way. So apparent chaos has underlying order. So again, they've got all the stats, they've done all the research. And this is showing that the price, the global crypto market cap, even though it's down, over the long term, it's up. The same with interest in social media activity is actually up 63% year on year. It's now around the 1 billion people talking about a billion mentions on social media platforms. And then again, new ideas and developer activity is up 84%, which is crazy. That's the compound annual growth rate. So that's basically per year, how much is that space growing in terms of like interest. So 84% increase in developer activity is crazy. 62% increase in projects getting funding, amazing. So we can see here, they've done a really, really good thing here, just kind of showing through the different dips and through as markets move and as the world changes, new tech comes out. So you can see here, I'll just zoom in a little bit here. So you can see here in the .com crash that we all know about, that gave birth to projects like MailChimp, PayPal, and LinkedIn. And then in the 2008 crash, that gave birth to companies like, well, Bitcoin itself, Square, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Zoom, Discord. They all came about after the 2008 crash. So we can see every time we have these massive market crashes, what ends up happening is new technologies are born out of it. So trends to watch. Let's see out of all the projects that A16 are recommending as trends to watch, if there's any synergy in the trends that we suggest to watch. What do we suggest to watch? ISO projects, decentralized infrastructure, ZK rollups, optimistic rollups. And what do they say? New layer ones, optimistic rollups, zero knowledge. So very, very similar. Now, we also say new layer ones. Why? Because I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Hate me as much as you want. There is more of a possibility for ETH to lose its number one spot than to keep its number one spot. Why? Because all you've got to do is count how many other layer ones there is. That's how much competition it's got. It's got too much. I've never seen anything on the planet have that much competition. Like there's at least at least 1,000 companies trying to take the throne off ETH. Like it's inevitable that they're gonna take some hits along the way. Like and if you look at the history of technology, that's what always happens. Whoever's first just paves the way for someone to come along later and just build a better UI, UX, and customer experience. You've seen it with Nokia. You've seen it with BlackBerry. You've seen it with Sega. You've seen it countless times throughout history.
But I
Do you know
think to
what?
add-
Do you know what? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, just to add to that, I would also say that it's like there's companies learning from their mistakes and filling in gaps that they are not actually fulfilling. So that in itself gives them a massive disadvantage, because there's niche audiences that get captured, but also every time there's a new blockchain that's created, it's new technology that's been changed based on other blockchains. They've learned from what's happened throughout the whole space, not just Ethereum as a whole, but other blockchains as well, which has allowed them to then develop and create technologies that are innovative and also more cost effective and can do a lot more transactions and are it's a lot faster. I mean, if you're looking at the time to finality of all of these blockchains compared to the others, you know, it's a very big difference, you know.
Sorry, just missed the last bit. Mike was going.
Yeah, compared to the time to finality of other blockchains, as there's new ones coming out, you can see that it's actually being improved heavily. I mean, there's a lot of platforms that you can see to actually track and trace the transactions, and you can see that there's a faster flow and quicker flow through the newer blockchains, which is what I've seen. And yeah, there definitely will be competition that, if not, will take over the space. It will be extremely close to, because there's things that Ethereum are not doing, and there's areas that us as a team have looked at and thought, damn, like that's a huge downfall in itself for Ethereum. Unless
one of the things that I'd say is a huge downfall for Ethereum is the user experience. I cannot give my mom or my dad MetaMask and expect them to be able to use it on their own. I can't do it. I can't trust it. Even from using MetaMask for almost 4 years now, I still have problems with it. Like I still have difficulty using it. So that's someone that uses it quite regularly. And I know there's other people on this call that probably agree with me. It's not the easiest thing in the world to use. Whereas if anyone's ever used Near wallets, super easy to use. Crisp, clean, easy. In fact, some of them, Near wallets, sometimes allow you to create a wallet without having to create like a seed, via logging in with your email, which is revolutionary. So
your phone number as well, with your phone network.
Yeah, which makes logical sense.
Phone network with your phone number, it's different.
I would tell guys to go and do your research into Vodafone and what they might potentially do.
And also have a look at Cello as well. Cello.
Yeah, definitely. So out of these layer ones here, most of these are in our portfolio that we make public quite often. Apart from Sui and Aptos, because we've never ever researched them. So just because I like the name Sui, and I've heard of Aptos before, we're gonna have a future episode where we'll research them. Sensei, if you can make note of that we need to do an episode on Sui and Aptos. Okay, cool. So that's layer ones. Then obviously application specific things like ZK Sync for hyperchains, Cosmos for the zones, Optimism, which is a super chain, and Polygon, which is SuperNets, which is technically a layer 2 scaling solutions, and then Polkadot. Now, for me, parachains is the most important one here. Cosmos kind of falls underneath that. And we say this in all of our lessons. Whenever it comes to investing in a new technology, you've got to think of it like somebody building a new city. Now, if someone's building a new city, what do they need? They need plumbers, they need builders, they need people that can make railways, they need what's it called when someone works with wood? Plumbers, a carpenter. That's it. Carpenter. They need carpenters. So that's what you're looking for. And I think when it comes to file storage projects, every blockchain needs file storage. Every blockchain needs scaling solutions. Every blockchain needs to be able to communicate with other blockchains. So that's why layer zeros and like Polkadot are essential, because it's all great everyone having these blockchains, but if they can't communicate to each other, that's like having a road where you can't cross any lanes. Like it's crazy. It's essential. So that's that one. Then we've got optimistic rollups. This is something that I'm not the biggest fan of optimistic rollups. I see the purpose, but I just think they set themselves up for problems. So optimistic rollups are basically, in summary, just to kind of break it down for people that don't understand, is a way of speeding up transactions because you presume that all the majority of the transactions are good people and are valid transactions. And then whenever there's a faulty transaction, you just go back and undo all of that block and then carry on. For me, that is very presumptuous. Like, that's very, as they say, optimistic. I believe in the good of human nature and the goodwill of people, but when it comes to money, different ballgame. I don't believe in that at all. So that's why I'm very skeptical on optimistic rollups.
Yeah, that does sound quite strange, but then to my question is, to what extent does it block and stop the previous transactions, and does it liquidate it, or what does it actually do within that mechanism? That's what I'm wondering.
And again, because they've not been done at scale, I'm talking like millions of users, it's a very dangerous way of scaling up. Whereas ZK rollups, zero knowledge rollups, is basically provides a little bit more anonymity, so people can have transactions where it doesn't disclose who they are, and basically bunches loads of transactions together into a big box and then sends them all together as a big block instead of doing them all one by one, which to me, just on pure logic, makes more sense, is safer than the optimistic way of doing it. So that's those. So let's carry on and spend a bit of time on that slide. So blockchain extending rollups are scaling. 7% of all Ethereum fees are paid by L2 rollups. A major Ethereum upgrade, years in the making, eliminates environmental objections. So this is the next slide is crazy, absolutely crazy that nobody's ever mentioned this. You know, like how everyone's always slagging off Bitcoin for environmental damage. Why has no one ever come for YouTube?
YouTube. Because I think, well, first of all, now if you're coming for YouTube, you're coming for Google. First of all, which is, I mean, it's not gonna happen. Second of all, they have positioned themselves perfectly because they have provided a platform and other people make the content. So whose fault is it? Is it their fault or is it the other people?
They can kind of control the information though.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I'm talking about from a legal point of view. What would they say to protect themselves?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They would just say, "Oh, well, people need to stop uploading." Then.
Well, we've built the platform. We've created it as efficient as we can, and we can't deal with the workload of all of the people using our platform. So we've done X, Y, and Z, and this was not the most efficient way, but this company would have died otherwise, etc.
When you look at it, it's crazy. YouTube uses 244 terawatt hours of energy in comparison to Bitcoin doing 100 to 130. It's double.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever comes to you about Bitcoin's bad for the environment, say to them, well, so are tumble dryers, which uses more energy. What was the other one? Tumble dryers.
No, microwaves and kettles.
That's the other one.
So
yeah, it's very, very interesting to see that they've exposed that there, because I've never seen anyone do that before. So yeah, staking transforms collateral into outsized economic security. So recent developments. Hardware costs are declining rapidly, which we've seen in the ARK Invest report. That hardware is just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. However, I don't think that's going to stay that way. If something happens and kicks off in Taiwan with TSM, it's going to mean the price of chips is going to go through the absolute roof. So I think Nvidia, that the price of their chip, remember in lockdown, like the value of NVIDIA graphics cards was like crazy. They were like reselling like traders.
Oh yeah.
Potential that might happen again. So
then that's
your
a
eyes out.
great arbitrage opportunity to buy it from the like the smaller countries and just flip it into.
Yeah. So recent developments, again, there's way more education from people like us. And then there's high level programming languages such as Noir and Leo. Again, Sensei, if you can take note of that we need to do a bit of research into those two. And then there's ZK rollups. So zero knowledge field is gaining momentum, as we can see. It means that the prover time has dropped dramatically from 2017 to now. From it being 69 seconds, it's now 3 seconds. Verifier time has gone from 31 seconds to 1 second. The proof size has gone from 20 megabytes to 1.5 megabytes, and that's in a 5-year window. So technology is moving fast, whether people like it or not. Now, NFT creators have earned more than 1.9 billion in royalty revenues since 2021. It is a space that cannot be ignored at all. When we look at this chart, though, we can see that Blur has kind of come out of nowhere. Again, it's probably a lot of wash trading. So it's probably not a lot of unique people uploading NFTs there. So personally, I'm not too hyped about Blur or OpenSea. Again, I think OpenSea and Blur are positioned to have competition, and I think one of the dominant players there will very likely be eBay and Amazon once Amazon get fully rolling with their NFT marketplace, and or YouTube. YouTube and Amazon have literally got everyone in the world's buying habits, so and your interests. So like, I just don't see how OpenSea can compete, and they've got all the partnerships, and most things are built on Amazon Cloud Server, so they could. It wouldn't surprise me if OpenSea is built on Amazon Cloud Server, so that Amazon could just literally hold OpenSea hostage and be like, right, well, we're putting your fees up. So as you know, when it comes to NFTs, we highly recommend the one thing that we're allowed to say legally, which is go and get as many free NFTs as you can, because you're not paying for them, and then they increase in value. So that's not financial advice because they're free. So take a screenshot of this page, or some homework for you to do. Try and track down the free Starbucks NFT, the free Tiffany NFT. I don't think Tiffany's one was free, but Budweiser's one was free. Try and track down the DraftKings one, the Reddit ones. They're selling now for a couple of £100. The Nike ones, the Nickelodeon ones, Time, Adidas, Porsche, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. And again, why do I say go and track those down? Because if you can get the first ever NFT that some of these brands have created, just based on collectability and antiques, in 50 years time, 100 years time, you give them to your grandkids, is pretty likely that they're going to be worth more than £1. It's pretty likely. So like, if you can get them for free, put them all on a ledger and just keep them safe on a ledger and just go, right, yeah, grandkids, I collected these for you. They don't know what they're worth. I got them for free, but here you go. Like, that is like, potentially, if you did that with every one of these brands that's here, that's a crazy hand-me-down. And the ones that are free from big brands, go get them. I'm legally allowed to say that because I'm not telling you to spend money. As long as you do it without the ones without gas fees, then you've not spent any money. So Web3 games, this is a crazy fact. You know, we're crazy bullish on gaming, but Web3 games generate 23 times more on-chain transactions than DeFi. That is insane. Like, this is the kind of source that you can only get from reports like this. You are not getting that information from anywhere else. Like, that should say to you, okay, hang on a minute. If there's that much being generated there, maybe some of my portfolio needs to be focused on gaming. Because from one of the other reports we read, it was from the Blockchain Gaming Alliance, that one said that 50% of all blockchain transactions come from gaming. So I don't know if you put in the pieces together, like 50% of all transactions and 23 times more than DeFi is coming from gaming. When you apply gaming and DeFi together, like crazy. So do not sleep on gaming. I've mentioned it multiple times that I think the most undervalued NFT asset at this moment in time, in my opinion, is the other side lands, because pretty much anything that Bored Ape have released, then once you have it, gives you another asset for free. So it wouldn't surprise me that if you hold an other deed, that they give you another other deed for free, which you can then sell. Wouldn't surprise me, because that's just what they kind of do. So that's on that. Now we're getting into the stats. So this is so this is about DAOs. So DAO community stuff is growing, but this was very interesting about how America's majorly losing its lead. So the percentage of crypto developers in the United States has dropped from a 40% domination of crypto developers down just below 30, which that's kind of worrying. If I was the US, I'd be like, yo, what's going on? Like, why are we losing our web? You can't afford to lose developers of the emerging technology. That is dangerous for your entire country. Doesn't seem like it now, but that would be like America losing half of its web developers in 2008. They would have been screwed. And again, top crypto websites traffic from the United States going down as well. So there's a little bit about regulation and regulation being debated. Go and read that in your own time. And then market metrics and innovation indicators. So this, I want you to just pay a little bit of key attention here. So we can see active developers has gone up quite clearly. It's come down a little bit, but it's still just around just below the 30K mark of the amount of developers that are in Web3 at this moment in time. We can see it took a jump up from 2019 and then dropped down. A lot of people got interest, but then obviously there's no funding in projects at the moment. So a lot of developers probably went, nah, it's not for me. However, the interested developers has gone up, as we can see on GitHub. Now, this is something that if you can and you know how to, or you know how to tweak ChatGPT, any project that you're looking at, ask ChatGPT to tell you, is there more developers, or is the amount of developers increasing on that blockchain? Because if the amount of developers are increasing on the blockchain, there's going to be more projects, there's going to be more revenue, more press, more partnerships, probably going to make more money. So that's a key thing to look for. Again, pay attention to this. This is all leading up to something that I want to say, I'm going to show you in a second. NFT activity is and better tooling has driven exponential growth in contract deployers. So just note that NFTs at the highest was around 80K contracts were released. And just at the end of 2022, just before the big spike, it was around 45K. And we're still around that mark. Now, verified smart contracts are an all-time high, which, again, understand that. Verified smart contracts are at an all-time high. So, if the contracts are all-time high, the developers have gone down, that means the developers that were there have got better at developing smart contracts. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Core developer library usage is going up. So clearly developers are really busy. Now, there's been a drop in interest in crypto related jobs, but check this. Active addresses are growing steadily, right? Blockchain transactions have exploded in 2023. Now, the price of these cryptos has gone down, but the key fundamental has gone up. Wallet addresses is up, transactions are up. So the price is down, but you've got to ask yourself, the price is down, but the transactions are at the same level that they were in the hype of 2021. That's insane. You are getting products right now for 2021 results and hype levels, but for 2019 prices. So, like, you might think, oh man, the market's down. It's not about buying them. Well, the facts say otherwise. The facts say there's more transactions than ever. And there's more wallets than ever. However, this is the bit that didn't make any sense to me. This is the bit that made no sense. The number of mobile wallets has declined since 2022. So this is a bit that I was confused on. I was like, 1 and 1 isn't making 2 here. Transactions have gone up. NFT contracts have gone up. Users have gone up. But wallets have decreased. So that means there's more money right now and more transactions happening, but there's actually less people in crypto than there was in 2021. So that means all that money that's in the crypto space now is being shared and being generated by a smaller amount of people, which I find very, very interesting. So I put a note here: decrease in wallet, increase in transactions and money. Wallets are down almost by 20 million users, yet NFT buyers, transactions, and volume are near highs, which is crazy. So that means, let's say, for example, with the DEXs, 100 billion of volume has been generated from 20 million less wallets. So if you add those 20 million wallets back, what would happen to the amount of transactions, to the amount of volume? It's going to go way higher than anyone's even expecting.
Mike, do you think that this is institutional funds and the bigger players of the space positioning and maneuvering and manipulating the space?
Yep. I think what's happened is, whilst everyone's been scared away, the institutions are most definitely in right now. They're definitely in. The corporations are definitely in, and they're buying it up because we know Nike are buying up ETH. We know Starbucks are buying up Polygon. Why? Because for their projects that they're launching, they need it. So all the institutions, all the big corporates are buying it, and then most people are just like, yeah. So yeah, that's the state of crypto index, and then they've got a tool that you can use to analyze stuff. So what's next? What they're expecting, some iconic Web3 products to emerge, which I've said before that we were in the Space Invaders and Pac-Man era, and we're now about to go into the Mario and Sonic era, where there's going to be 2 significant leaders that are going to shape the space for a while until we get to like PS1 levels of development. And then what was the other significant thing? Yeah, that was the main significant thing. So yeah, hope everyone's enjoyed that. I'm just going to read some of the comments because there's 25 in the chat. Sorry, I didn't read any of that, but I'll just quickly go through them. Blake Harden, hope is not a strategy. Yeah, hope is definitely not a strategy. Global industry producer in the American continent, bus out in the Caribbean, UK. Yeah. Michael Harden, the Eve killer. Now I don't mean to kill them off. Like, obviously I can't kill them off. I'm just using logic and history. That's all I'm using. I think individual users are utilizing for a wider variety of uses. Some wallets are used to separate uses. It's going to Slingshot. Yeah. And then just to wrap up, I want to cover something that I used to cover every single month, and then I kind of flopped a little bit. So I'm just going to wrap up with some tweets that I put out the other day. Well, not the other day, I put out today. So something that used to happen if you're an old school follower of the game, every month I'd put out a watch list of projects that I'm looking at and stocks that I'm looking at, and every month I would do a portfolio review and show how my portfolio is doing, and it was like a public portfolio that I'd created for the public. Now I realized, having spoken to my coach, that a lot of the principles that helped build this company I kind of got distracted from, and so I think it's been about almost 6 months since I did a portfolio review and since I publicly put out portfolio performance and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, I've got about 6 portfolios, but let's go back to the main public one that I was using and see where that's at. And with that portfolio, I was meant to just be dollar cost averaging, even if it was just £5, £10, because it was a public one. It was just to show what's possible from following some of the calls that and things that we suggest and look at on for you to do your research on the game. And yeah, I apologize, completely forgot about it for 6 to 9 months. So yeah, just wanted to apologize for that. We're going to be getting back to it every single month. Going to be releasing a watch list and results from it. So yeah, so anyone attending the Blockchain Sensei the game would have got watch lists, and anyone following the Twitter would have got calls in November 2022 and January 2022 when we called things like Meta, Google, and Netflix when they were really, really down. They've gone up like 82% each. And you probably would have caught the big bagger that was Core Scientific that we put out there. We gave that to our private dojo students. We put that out there to Crypto Boss put it straight away. We put that out to on everywhere. We put that one out on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere. It's in my tweets and Blockchain Sensei tweets, so you can go and check that. That's gone on to do 500%. Congratulations to Crypto Boss and other people that did their own research and made investments and took profits on that. Even in a crazy downturn in bear market, there is still 500% returns out there. And like we always say, like, this is why we teach people, you can't just do crypto. You've got to be diversified, because some of that money in crypto is in the stock market. But Core Scientific, for example, was the largest Bitcoin miner, but it was a stock. So you're still involved in crypto, but through the stock market. So that's that. Then just going to show results. So over the last, what's this? Is this monthly? Yeah, that's all-time. Is this all-time performance? Yeah, I think this is all-time performance. So this is my all-time stocks performance at this moment in time. 16%, should easily be 50%. Like, I've let the team down there. Yeah, 16% is good. It's beating inflation, but I think this portfolio has been around for 3 years now, so it should be way better than that. So I'm going to get that back up to 50, probably 75% by the end of this year by focusing a bit more, just to show you that it is possible to get 50% per year results, just like great investors that are out there. So monthly, it was at 86%, which wasn't that great. And then, oh, I thought it had the yearly one. Oh yeah, it does. So 6-month performance of my crypto portfolio, the public one, 32%. But again, missed really easy ones. So we thought that the bottom was in, but I chickened out myself personally. A few students decided to get in when it was at 18. I was being greedy and was waiting for 12K, which was stupid. Should have started dollar cost averaging there. So I've learned from my mistakes there now that just dollar cost averaging is just the way. So missed an easy 50 to 80% on Bitcoin alone, and then missed another 50 to 80% on Cardano, Miner, Fetch, XRP, and DOT, all things that we called over the last 6 months, but didn't get into myself. And then obviously Render Token, which Rids mentioned, which we've been talking about that Render Token on our show for about 1.5 years, 2 years almost. And again, didn't invest in that myself. So again, guys, hopefully you're learning from our mistakes. It's all about doing your own research and then actually taking action, because Render Token went on to do 400%. So you can see there, just from 2 things that I didn't take action on, that's 400% from Render Token, 500% from Core Scientific. That's 900% up. This portfolio could have been up and would have been a public portfolio. Well, not 900, but it would have been up a lot. It would have been up over 300% in the market conditions that we're in at the moment if I'd been more disciplined. Sorry, that's a meme. That's not the one I was trying to show. What I was trying to show though is that despite it not being where I want it to be, over 2 years, the crypto portfolio, which I'm going to show you the things that are in that portfolio, just to wrap up, is doing 193% overall over 3 years, which again, you can't complain. Even though the markets are crazily down, to be 193% up is like amazing. So let's go to the trading views just to show you the portfolio. That's my trades for this month. Let me just go crypto portfolio. Okay, cool. So here's the main holds: Ape, Dot, Matic, which is Polygon, SHIB, XLM, Doge, CVC, which was Civic. That seems to be not there anymore, means it's been delisted. Cardano, Algorand, Kyber, Decentraland, Proppy, A16z, Tezos, Filecoin. Then we've got Crow, VeChain, Audius, Theta, Polkastarter. I said Flow already, innit? Axie, XRP, Utrust, Curve, Chili, Swissborg, Ultra. Is this the ghost one? Avagotchi, I think that is. Avagotchi token, Engine, Basic Attention token, Link, Uniswap, which I think I did some TA on this recently, is doing a bit of a wedge. And now that Uniswap is on the Uniswap is now on iPhones, so I think that's a great use case for that. So watch out for that on Uniswap. 1 inch Litecoin, BNB. So yeah, that's the main holds in that. Cool. So any questions before we wrap up all together? Let's go. Who's new? We've got Crypto Boss has got his hand up. Go on.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, great session as usual. Execution, guy. Execution. Execution. You could have all the info. If you're not executing, it's like just because I like you know, I was saying, yo, Bitcoin going down to 10. When I saw the signs, even from when we did that session with Glassnode and you did that real price versus, we saw the signs, and still,
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. I still got into stuff and made some money, but you know, execution.
100%.
I did not execute an option trade today, and from 110, it closed at $17.80. Let's just leave that alone. Goodbye. Next person.
Execution. That's what it is, and that's why I'm publicly saying it, because I'm not perfect, and nobody is perfect, and I think only when other people are saying it, you can learn from other people's mistakes, and I want people to learn from my mistakes, not from their own, and not to have the regrets that I've now got. So yeah, Dubem had a question. Let me just unmute you.
Yeah, quick one. What do you think of Near Protocol?
I love Near. Near is one of my favorite projects. Just the projects that they're involved in. They're lacking a little bit on the gaming side, but watch this space. They are, but apart from that, a project we just saw in the music space, which we're gonna reveal to you guys probably in the next 2 weeks. Crazy. They're just their UI, UX, the way that it's used is amazing. And then there is some rumors that Apple are working with it on a few projects. So so yeah, go do your research. Oh, we got Blake Harden in the building. Oh, okay, yeah, it's all making sense now. Oh, okay, yeah. So there's a insane music project. Let's not don't go into it too much, because I want to do a whole episode on your project, Blake. But I'm making you a co-host so you can come on and talk a little bit about your platform.
Oh, yeah, so I've got Nero on my asset on my bag.
Oh,
The what?
Can we hear you? Hiya, Blake. How you doing?
Good, great. How are you?
Oh, good, man. I'm good. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode of the game.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
like there's a lot of cool knowledge, and I don't know, it kind of reaffirms like a lot of my what I think about stuff. So
Yeah, man. That's it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your platform, or show us a little bit of your platform? I've made you co-host so you can share your screen a little bit if you want.
I'm on my phone right now, actually.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about your platform.
Basically, it's a musicfeast.io. It's a music NFT marketplace, but it's used to build the artist's fan base in a locked Discord. It's an unlockable Discord, as well as an unlockable marketplace that has multiple tiers of other stuff. We just dropped it like a week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. We've been working on it for quite a long time. We really wanted to bring you the utility of NFTs. We really wanted to bring that to the forefront and make it be seen that NFTs and smart contracts can be utilized for normal uses and be more convenient than current methods, especially for independent artists, independent anything really. And it's just like the new technology is a wheel, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there trying to utilize it to its full potential. And I feel like we've done a few things that just bring it closer to mass adoption and bring a lot more transactions to the blockchain. And that was kind of our point in the first place, was to bring a lot of transactions to Near, because we thought they're doing a lot of cool stuff, and everything seems really solid with it. Justin, my partner, had been aligned with them for a long time, and
yeah, man, amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody go follow.
We can get into it more later, but
yeah. We're gonna have you guys on for a whole episode.
Yeah, I encourage people to check it out though. Musicfeast.io. There's a lot of new artists on there, or a lot of artists that maybe you haven't heard before. So I feel like right now in the early stages, it's a cool place to we have curated content on there. So, from people that we know or is us or whatever, So it's just going to grow, and it's going to be a cool place to find a lot of independent artists,
Brilliant. Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't wait to have you on again. So we've got a couple of other new people. I think it was Mike, great name. Obviously, my name is Mike as well. Thanks for joining us.
No problem, mate.
So good, all good. Did you take value from today's episode? Did you enjoy it?
To be honest, mate, I was dipping in and out, man, but I got a wee bit of value, mate.
No worries. Well, the good thing is, it's all on YouTube, so you can go and watch the playback. So yeah, we'll put the YouTube link in the group so you can watch it later. No worries. And then I think the only other new person is T. Is T new? T3? TE3. You've been unmuted. Hello, T.
Hello.
Hi. Are you new?
Oh, sorry. Hold on 1 second. I can barely. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, hi. I recognize the voice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm not sure from where that would be, but.
Oh, you new today?
Yes. I am.
Okay. Did you enjoy today's episode?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that actually I'm the person that messaged you on Telegram not too long ago asking to connect.
Okay.
That's me. Yeah. And I just wanted to say I really liked today's session, and it's quite clear to me that you've been in the space for quite a while and you know what you're talking about. You have a good breadth of knowledge, and I'm a software engineer, so I code on a lot of these DLTs, Algorand more specifically. But yeah, no, I really liked what I heard today.
Thank you. That's love hearing that kind of feedback. That's why we do what we do, man. Thank you ever so much. All right, cool. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of the game. And then I don't know if you're free now. Can give you a quick call. And then we'll just chop it up for a bit. But thank you, everybody.
Sweet.
Thank you, guys.